Your resume is probably the most important document that you will ever create, so it's worth spending some serious time on it and being very thoughtful with its creation. I know it's tempting to use a flashy template like this, or this, but nope, nope, and nope. If you want to have a fancy profile or career summary to hand to someone at a job fair, or maybe send ahead if you're doing a guest speaking event, that's absolutely fine. But your resume needs to be compatible with applicant tracking systems, or ATS. It is just a computer database system that skims resumes, and it helps hiring managers to search a database for particular skills and pull up people that the system thinks are most appropriate for the company's needs at the time. So your resume needs to be friendly to those applicant tracking systems. Also, hiring managers need to be able to just skim your resume quickly and find what they're looking for quickly. They're used to this standard format, so we definitely want to use this standard resume format. Some of the basics of the formatting that we need to keep in mind: one page, how things are organized on that one page, it really is up to the individual, but one page. If you have a lot of work experience, then make sure the most important things are on the first page. Then you want to make sure that your font is 10 to 12 points, no smaller than 10. Your name, maybe we can bump up to 14, but the content, 10 to 12 point fonts. Everything needs to be consistently formatted and well balanced. We don't want to be changing fonts around in the resume, and we want to make sure that our experience and education and skills are all nicely organized in bulleted lists so the hiring managers can scan and find what they want quickly and easily. Let's take a look at the first component of our resume, that name and contact information that goes at the top.
Okay, let's get started off at the top. At the top of the page, you want your name to be the largest font on the page. Typically, we just bump it up one font size bigger than the headings in the rest of our resume, but you can get away with one more bump if you don't have a whole lot to fill the page. Some people also use bold or even a completely different font just for the name. But it's always best to be consistent throughout your resume, so I wouldn't recommend getting too wild and crazy with the fonts. Besides your name, you want to definitely let people know where you are and how to contact you. So we have our city and state, no street address. We don't put street addresses on resumes anymore. The street address is a holdover from the days when we used to actually mail resumes to companies and they used to mail offer letters back to us. So city, state only. After that, we want our cell phone number. Make sure this is one that you're going to hang on to for a while if you're going to be putting it on a resume. After that, we want an email address that is both professional and one that we are going to stick with, which means don't use your school email address. Different schools have different policies on how long they keep a student's email active once they graduate or leave the school, and you definitely don't want resumes floating out there that have an email address that you cannot access anymore. So make sure your email is a professional one and not one with silly nicknames from middle school. The last thing that we put at the top is our LinkedIn profile. So make sure that your LinkedIn profile has all of the necessary components, that has a good professional profile picture, cover photo, and complements your resume. You definitely don't want any conflicting information between the resume and the LinkedIn. But employers are using LinkedIn more and more for recruiting these days. So make sure that your LinkedIn profile is spot on. So to repeat, make sure your name is the biggest on the page, it stands out, city and state only, cell number and email, that's going to be persistent with you for a while, and your good LinkedIn profile. Our next video is going to be focused on the education section of our resume, so make sure that you have verified all of your information and that you have it handy. Verify your university and college. Some universities have individually named colleges within them. If yours is one of those, verify that. Also verify your major and minor. Are you getting a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts? Are you pursuing a minor? Just because you're taking a lot of marketing classes doesn't mean you're getting a marketing minor, so make sure that you verify what you're pursuing. Get your current GPA, both your cumulative and your major GPA if you have access to it, and then make sure you verify the city and state of your institution. Lots of schools have lots of different locations, and then your expected graduation date so that we can represent that on our resume accurately. When you get all that information together, then go on to the next video and we will start building out your education section.